I just watched C-SPAN, and this is still it in the Senate, no, the House. And there's 7 people in the room. Everybody else is gone. It's 7:30, 8:30, and these fucking people are trying to set this border straight, and there's not a fucking Democrat in the room.
Sort of a series I've been doing on the floor every week, every other week, when depending on the chaos of the floor schedule, come and take about a half an hour of time and sort of walk through things I'm seeing in the numbers, and in many ways sort of express my intense frustration at both the Democrats and many of my brothers and sisters on the Republican side for not taking a step backward from the daily chaos that has become the House of Representatives and realize the single biggest threat to the cohesion of our society is actually demographics. And I'm going to walk through what that means. The reason I always put up this particular board is we've sort of developed in our office sort of
Light bulb in the middle. Technology, disruption, employment, earned and unearned benefits, population stability, economic growth.
Baby boomers. There's 74 million of us born functionally in an 18-year period. 10,300 of us retiring or turning 65 every single day.
I did that 10 years ago.
And the math is devastating.
Disability.
And my instinct is maybe that's why it is avoided in conversation around here, because the math is difficult. It's uncomfortable. It's also real. So something I don't do often, I want to read a simple paragraph from an analysis, June 11th, 2019, from the Manhattan Institute that was just analyzing the numbers from the Congressional Budget Institute, Congressional Budget Office. They're talking right now about just Social Security and Medicare. Over the next decade, 91% of the projected increase in the budget deficits, 91% of the increase in the projected budget deficits, which are set to approach $2 trillion, come from the increasing costs of Social Security and Medicare and the associated interest. So think of that. In the next decade, when we talk about the growth of the debt and deficit, 91% of that is just functionally the demographic growth for Social Security and Medicare. Another way to think about that, every 5 years, just the growth in Social Security and Medicare equals the entire Defense Department. It is, if we're going to keep our promises as a society, these are earned benefits. We made a promise as a society, avoiding the reality of the math. So think about this part of this paragraph.
But we're going to give money to those fucking Mexicans coming over here and all those other people in the Mideast. We waste money.
Cash shortfall, including the resulting interest cost, while the rest of the budget has a $16 trillion surplus. So think about that one more time. Over the next 30 years, I have a 3.5-year-old little girl. Doesn't she deserve to live in America that continues to be prosperous? With these sorts of numbers,
that's not going to happen.
It's impossible. Functionally, our debt deficits, the attempt to try to keep some of our promises is going to consume everything around us. And in previous times on the floor, and I know I'm going to be doing it again, we've brought in a series of what the left often says is, well, we'll tax the rich more, we'll do this, and they only cover tiny portions. The scale of this doesn't work in our modern rhetoric. So think about that last sentence again. If you remove Social Security and Medicare, over the next 30 years, the budget has a $16 trillion surplus. And one of our boards, we have a higher number because the board is a bit out of date. budget's actually what we call a cash surplus. The associated revenues exceed the associated expenses. But if you add in Social Security and Medicare, $100 trillion deficit with its associated interest costs. So what are we going to do? We actually believe we have a fighting chance. There was a time a decade ago, if you did certain senior options and those things in Medicare and gave some pricing power and options, you could actually see where you could actually flatten out some of that debt to GDP curve and make the baby boomers survivable economically. We've waited too long. We've missed that window. Now our argument is we have to do everything.
I got mine. You younger people ain't gonna get diddly
A
squat.
tax code that maximizes economic expansion. Trade that maximizes economic expansion. Regulations, smart regulations using technology that maximize economic expansion. Labor force participation. What do you do to encourage those to enter the workforce? We're doing remarkably well right now. We still have a problem with millennial men. We still need to find ways to create some spiffs within the tax code, within the retirement parts of the code, to encourage seniors that are healthy, that feel they wish to do it, they're prepared to do it, to stay in the labor force. We have to
Sometimes you're making them because you don't give them enough money. They can't pay the fucking bills.
System that is talent-based, so it maximizes economic vitality. And we're going to have to actually look at the earned entitlements and things we can do to produce sort of spiffs and incentives within there to actually change the cost of healthcare, to actually encourage staying in the labor force, smart decision making. And one of these actually is really, really important to me, and I've spent a lot of time on the floor. Aggressive adoption of disruptive technology, particularly in healthcare. In this body, we have a running debate. The Republicans say our healthcare reform is who should get subsidized, who shouldn't, and we'll add some market forces. The Democrat side is, well, we won't add market forces, we'll do a collectivization, but we'll see who pays and who gets subsidized. We're having an argument about the money on what to pay, or excuse me, on who gets to pay, not what to pay. There's technology, and we've done this over and over on the floor, that's about to crash the price of healthcare. If this body is prepared to sort of have that blockbuster moment, and I'm going to say blockbuster moment, I mean blockbuster video moment.
I got my money. As long as I get my money every month, I'm alright. But I guess I ain't gonna get it in a couple of years. Jesus. Alright, enough of that crap. You guys listening to this shit? The United States is fucked. Bend over and take it up the ass, cause you're gonna be fucking broke. No metal.